What up is Marcus Nice Simple Dads. I just got done building this nice little storage closet thing here for the baby that's coming in. We're due November 4th for our second kid here. And I started this channel right before I had my first. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of betting stuff. This is some of my favorite stuff to do. I like to do a little bit of gambling when it comes to fantasy football. There's a sleeper app. Of course, I can comment. There's a link in the description, and I'm not promoted by it by any means. It's just a fun way that I can also put some money, a little bit of money on some sports that maybe I don't have players or own some of these players, but these are some, I think, easy wins. And one of their bets is Christian McCaffrey over a half yard. We know he's going over a half yard. There's a 99.999% chance that happens. But I have five other players here that I think are 90% or above chances of hit. And so if you put 3-4 of these together, like I am going to, I'm going to put a $20 bet in. It's kind of like doing pull tabs or kind of like doing a little slot machine, $20 in. If I hit all four, which you're going to hit one with Christian, then you get Christian McCaffrey, you get $200. So that's what I'm going to do. The first one that I'm going to do is J.K. Dobbins. You might be going, J.K. Dobbins? What? That is going to be who you're putting your money on? And J.K. Dobbins over 54.5 yards, which may seem like, to me, that number initially it was kind of like, well, that kind of seems about right. But going into it, Houston had the 32nd ranked defense. They let up 2,894 yards. That's a lot of yards. That's over 150 yards a game. And so just looking at that perspective, 150 yards, Lamar's going to be running some. You might have even Gus Edwards run some. But let's look at the last four games of J.K. Dobbins when he got back from his knee issue the second time. The one where he was not hobbling on one foot. 120, 125, 59, and 93. The closest one that you're going to have is 59. I think this chance of hitting is, again, 90+% chance in my head when you're going against Houston's defense. Now, yes, they have Will Anderson now, but the chances of him making immediate impact, I'm talking about week one, is not enough where it's going to go from 32nd ranked to 20th ranked. Maybe that happens throughout the season, but I think that the Houston Texans defense is going to have a slow start. They have a lot of pieces that really they need to mature and figure that out, and it's going to take some time for them to heal up. So they're not heal up, to grow and stuff like that. So I think J.K. Dobbins is an easy hit here at over 54.5 yards. The next one we're going to go with is Nick Chubb. I don't understand this line, 76.5 yards. I think this is an easy hit over as well. You look at last year, 13 of 17 games, and you might go, well, that's not 90% chance. But 6 of the last 7 games, which is closer than a 90%, and those were with Deshaun Watson. And the biggest reason, everyone talks about Deshaun Watson destroyed Nicholas Chubb. He destroyed Nick Chubb. You hear it all, la. The biggest thing that Deshaun Watson did for Nick Chubb is he stopped him from getting touchdowns. Nick Chubb just stopped getting touchdowns. He went from getting a touchdown a game to just getting no touchdowns at all. Like, literally he had 1 touchdown in the last 7 games. And when you have that issue, that is what's going to cause fantasy issues. But for us, yards, that's what we want. I don't like the touchdown, the half touchdown. I don't like the over on that. But I like the chances of him getting the 76.5 yards. Again, 6 of the last 7 games. If you're going against Cincinnati's defense and you're trying to keep Burrow and Chase and Higgins off the field, what are you going to do? You're going to run with your best player, which is Nick Chubb. No Kareem Hunt there as well. I think that just adds a little bit to this. I could see Nick Chubb's line start to move up into those 80s, and that's where we start getting a little bit riskier. So, the next one is Chris Godwin against my Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings have a horrendous defense when it comes to pass defense. It seemed like they were letting everyone have 300 passing yards. Baker Mayfield potentially could be that route as well. But Chris Godwin, over 57.5 yards. I know Baker struggled. He had 57.5 yards for a receiver for Baker Mayfield. Seems like maybe a little bit of a tall stretch. But the 31st ranked defense, and Chris Godwin, even with a struggling offense last year, had 6 of his last 8 games with over that amount. And if you're telling me 75% chance, which I think it's going to be more, you're going to tell me the 31st ranked defense is going to be the one that's going to stop him? I don't think so. And I think that Chris Godwin is going to hit the over here. Now, why I said it's kind of 4, kind of 5 is because there's two players, and I want you to kind of tell me which one that you like better. In fact, let me know if you have any other over-unders and 2, and maybe I'll add it to one of my bets, and I'll post it and see what bets I get, what bets that I'll do just based off for you guys. So let me know what you guys are doing for over-unders, and again, get that sleeper app so that we can, hey, I'll throw a few bucks. Oh, yeah, it's 1 o'clock on a Wednesday, and that's why we have the tornado sirens. I was like, that's kind of weird. So Keenan Allen, 65.5 yards over. 6 of the last 8 games, he hit that. Again, struggling back from that hamstring injury last year. I think this is going to be a shootout with Miami. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, so I like a lot of the overs. I mean, I was even tempted with Tyreek. I was even tempted with Waddle. The last one is Eckler, over 35.5 yards. Sorry for the sirens. 12 of 17 games did that, which is surprising because I feel like Eckler is an easy 35.5 yards, but actually, like, diving into it, he fell short a couple times, barely, and there was a couple times that they just didn't use him in that receiving game. I think this is going to be a high-powered offensive game. I think you're going to see a lot of yards put up by both teams, and Herbert's going to be healthy. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things is Herbert is actually going to be healthy. Quentin Johnston could make an emergence here, but I don't think it's going to be right off the bat. I think he's going to be slower into the game. So I see a lot of Mike Williams. I see a lot of Keenan Allen. And I see a lot of Austin Eckler. I don't see that changing for the first quarter of the season, and I see Austin Eckler being the running back 1 after 4 games, the running back 1 overall until Quentin Johnston potentially is in there. And I see Keenan Allen being a really solid wide receiver. That turning alarm is very loud. And so those are my 4/5 bets. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do Keenan Allen or Austin Eckler in my little parlay here. So you let me know. I actually have Christian McCaffrey in my parlay too. So because he's over under that half yard. So let me know what you guys decide. Peace out. Take care. We'll see you very soon.